And I walked into the house and said, oh, I just got fired. And my wife looked at me and started crying. And I said, that's okay, we're gonna start a company.
30 years ago, as Houston entered the last decade of the millennium, 7 intrepid men and their families bravely launched an enterprise that none could have predicted its challenges, and it changed their lives forever. Hear their stories as the founders answer questions and reminisce on early challenges and key decisions. All the turning points and pivots that built Costello Inc. into one of Houston's most admired companies and best places to work.
If you could go back and change anything, what would it be?
More computers earlier.
We didn't have the money.
Hiring Tag about 10 computers before we did.
Hiring Tag, yeah. I'm so glad to have an IT department.
John, you were the IT department.
John and I
like
were the IT department for the longest time.
a while, yeah.
I was to the point where I couldn't get work done because I'd walk in and I'd leave at night, everything was working. Coming in the morning, nobody had been there, and there was something wrong with the damn computers.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell happened? So it's
Remember
like,
Rick Leach used to call you guys the DOS boys?
Yeah, the DOS boys. He was the hell bent on us getting Windows 3.1, wasn't he?
So when we transitioned from us doing all the work to bringing people on, I think the biggest transition was HR and when we brought in Linda Smith
Linda Smith.
for the financing.
I remember we sat down, I think at the West Chase Hilton with Mike Martin and did like an all-day planning, strategic planning thing.
Yeah.
And the first thing he did was ask us to write down, what is the most important thing you do for this company and how much time do you spend on it? And Steve said the accounting, and I had no idea how much time you were spending doing the
all day
accounting.
Saturday, all day
I think you
Sunday.
had just left when we did that, and we said, we got to fix that.
Yeah.
So, and that's when we hired Linda Smith.
Yeah, that's
was a good
usually,
hire.
but
Yeah, it was.
what people don't recognize, and I talk to a lot of firms in town, they call me a lot when it comes to, they're just starting firms. and I caution them about, first of all, growth. You got to manage growth. And then the issue of transitioning from a firm where you're doing all the work and then bringing people in. And there's a level of trust that you have to have as an owner giving something to, private information to another person to work for you. So, yeah, that's always the biggest challenge.
Well, one thing I've learned now, we just talked about it, I would have said we need an accountant in-house much sooner than what we did.
and staff across the board. I mean, we didn't hire staff because we go, well, we don't know if we can keep them busy or whatever. How many times have we ever had someone we hired that's not been busy?
I remember pulling all-nighters for some deliverable that had to get out, and me not having any real technical skills, being a manager, I was the moral support and food.
True.
So when my guys would be at working all night long, I'd be running to House of Pies, getting pizza. I fed them and patted them on the back while they're working.
Remember we had that phone system where it would ring on 3 different, we brought our own phones from home, I think.
Yeah, man.
They would ring on different.
The old Southwestern Bell.
Remember the bag phones? The
we
bag
had
phones?
2 lines.
You remember the story of me driving down Briar Forest, following Michelson and Klein?
Oh, yeah.
That was in the afternoon. They were just driving down. I knew that they'd been drinking, and I was just following them. And finally, they get over towards Eldridge over there, and there's a back way into that big cemetery that's on I-10 right there. And they turn into the cemetery, and that's when I had to quit following them. It was too obvious.
But yeah, that first phone system was,
And our paging system was Blake, line 2. And click, you have to hit the switch hook and hang it up, and Blake would click over there and pick it up.
Did we have 2 lines? I don't
We had
remember
2 lines. It wasn't very long.
Multiple click it or
Yeah,
something.
you had to,
Humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Yep.
What mistake did you make that you would never make again?
I will say, when you make a mistake on a project, it's going to haunt you.
Yeah.
You won't get away from it. So it will haunt you one way or the other.
until you do the right thing.
Yeah, until you go back and fix it.
Yeah.
Well, whatever mistakes we made, we fixed.
We tried to fix it.
And we took ownership of it. I think if I had to do it again, the mistake I made was not taking the first employee number.
Who was number one?
He was.
Blake was?
I thought you were.
No,
No.
I'm like 9 or 10.
I'm
You
4.
can't. You have to be within
No, you got to be 0 to 7.
I'm not.
You're not?
Really?
I was 4.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I didn't
Who's
take
number
one.
1?
I don't know.
None.
Did we have people getting checks that weren't even working?
You know what? You know what?